Hey folks, it's Jason Wampler. It's now 7:54 p.m. on Saturday, January the something other, 2 days away from my birthday, so that must mean it's January the 16th, Saturday, 2021 at 7:54 p.m. Hey guys, I'm having kind of not so much an issue. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to shoot my classes at 9 p.m. 7 days a week. At the Sasha High School parking lot. I've come to the conclusion I have to do two things. I have to pay my phone bill for my good phone and not use my free phone. You didn't hear me say that. The other thing is I have to buy a camera tripod. I cannot get anybody reliable to help me shoot these videos, so I have to shoot them myself. This is Saturday night, so all 7 nights are basically the same thing. Advanced experimental rocketry, including HAMR class sounding rockets. This is ground support equipment. This does not apply to HAMR class sounding rockets. Those hammer class sounding rockets, they're too large for what I build they're too large for what I'm building right now or what I built right now. This is a launch stand. Now this is PVC that you can Schedule 80 or Schedule 40 PVC you can get from a hardware store. Now I gotta tell you, you can make this launch stand for pennies on the dollars. Pennies on the dollar. I'm thinking with today's rate of inflation, you're probably looking at about maybe $15 to build this launch stand. However, there are some areas with extra teeth that you do need to know about, and I want to put the flash on because I want to make sure everything's really bright. This is 3mm green fiberglass, green American fiberglass. You have to have what's called a circle cutter for this, and you have to have a belt face sander. The other thing, this rod right here, if you can see the detail right there, this is threaded rod. Right here is a portion where you have to have a die, not a tap, but a die that actually runs the thread on this smooth galvanized steel rod. This is not the world's perfect launch stand because this rod is too fat in diameter and it's too short. If you're going to launch a rocket on this rail, it has to be pretty much twice as stiff and probably about twice as tall as well. So they didn't sell too well, but you notice over here, a little bit of intuition engineering. You see right here, I'll just take my glasses off so I can maneuver around a little better and see what better I'm doing. Right here, this is a nylock nut. These are large flat washers. This is an eye screw, another eye screw. This is actually an air cleaner wing nut I got from oh my goodness, what's that name of the place? Crown Ace Hardware in Costa Mesa. Crown Ace Hardware is now closed down. But let me show you the other detail. This is what's called a coupler nut. These are regular nuts. And this is a plus connector for irrigation. You basically get these from Home Depot or Lowe's for really cheap. And then I cut little sections, this ABS pipe to join this to that. These are angled connectors, and these are caps at the end. Now, here's where I have bragging rights, because I'm exercising and talking at the same time, and I'm fat, I'm old, I'm ugly, I'm useless, and I'm out of weight. I'm overweight. This is a bragging rights for this launch stand, and this is why I need this is why I need a camera stand. I can't get anybody motivated to help me out. Anyway, these legs are removable, and this thing is modular. I can build this, and I can set up a row of 5 or 10 different individual launch rods. The only thing is, this material, I need to get material like this, but something that's at least twice as stiff. If it's going to be this length, it has to be half the diameter and twice as stiff, because you don't want rockets whipping around on the rail off the pad. Now, for 20 years I've been developing this product, and you know what? It doesn't work too terribly good. And I gotta tell you something about aerospace and rocketry, folks. In all honesty, the first 10 or 20 years, any company that gets into aerospace is experimenting with brand new designs. At least the first 10 years, it's going to be miserable. You're going to have hardly any or no sales. You're going to be spending more than you make. It's not a get-rich-quick thing or scheme. You're not going to get rich overnight. You have to be dedicated, you have to be sincere, and you have to be heartfelt. You have to be an engineer yourself. Aerospace companies that are run by non-engineering heads, they always fail, okay? They're not baseball stadiums. They're not fast food chain restaurants or grocery stores. They're not movie theaters. Aerospace manufacturing, places like Boeing or Theacol or Aerojet Rocketdyne, they're dedicated purpose designing, engineering, and manufacturing firms, and you have to have a passion and talent for what you're doing. That's what I always tell everybody. So this wasn't a very popular item because, again, the rod just whips around too much, but I'm limited by what I can get, and I cannot get any vendors to cooperate with getting me set up with exotic materials. So I'm stuck with Crown Ice Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's, McFadden-Dale, Harbor Freight, etc., etc. These guys are great, but as things progress with the sounding rocket business that I own, I'm okay now, but either I'm going to have to get some of these vendors to pony up and really perform, because I can't even get aero epoxy without spending an hour on the phone and basically mailing off or sending off an email with technical details. It takes me half an hour to type out and send, and never to get a reply. That's already been about 3 months, guys. And for you folks in the aero glue industry, hey, I don't know what's going on with you guys. If you don't want a sale, don't list yourself on the internet, because if you really don't want to sell stuff to people who are building rockets, or you think somebody's too small to do business with, hey, you know what, guys, go do something else, man. Don't be salesmen. That's very poor salesmanship. I'm a salesman myself. I've been one since I was 15 years old. I don't know what the heck's going on with you guys. I'm not upset, or I am upset. This, however, this is a hit. This is what's called a through box, and I'll tell you why. This guy, I'm talking really loud, and I think my roommates can hear me. This guy has a lead, as per NAR and AAA regulations, has a 50-foot lead to the igniters on the motor for the rocket. Then it has a 10-foot lead to the battery source. So the battery hooks up here. These are colorized because they're polarized. And they hook up, they go through here. You turn the key on. The light turns on. And you open up the switch. Actually, it's upside down. A momentary flip the switch on, light the igniter, lights the motor, launches the rocket. That's it. I could open it up, but what I'm going to do is when I get the camera tripod, or a phone camera tripod, I'm going to go ahead and shoot very, very short videos. Again, to be honest with you, even half an hour videos really gobble up space on my phone. So eventually I'm going to upgrade to a larger phone, with a more expensive larger phone with a tremendous amount of internal memory and storage, so I can shoot 30-minute videos 7 days a week without dumping these videos off and making room for more space on my itty-bitty phone. Either one of my phones do okay for little 5 and 10-minute videos. I've got another show on my YouTube channel called Dime Store Psychology. I always shoot that in the morning between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. That's what this is about. But I'm saying that because both my phones handle that just fine. And as soon as I gain some momentum, I'll monetize and make some money off that. Or I may not. But anyway, so this is that. That explains how this thing works. I call it a through box, and I'll tell you why. The power from the battery goes through the box and simply goes out the other end to the igniter on the motor. This is the most basic form of ignition control system for any type of rocket. But it can go to any scale rocket, because it can handle up to 20 amps of current going through it. It has an inline fuse. So with a single engine rocket, you can launch up to an M-Power rocket with this launch control box. They take me literally 5 hours to make. Materials cost $100, and I gotta tell you, I was only able to sell them on eBay for $25 a piece, which included shipping. And I ended up losing money on the deal because I was only given 10 for shipping and I had to pay 15. So be aware of eBay's shipping calculator, because if you live in California, the eBay shipping calculator is not even close to being even 50% adjusted to the correct rates. You tell a customer it's going to cost $15 to ship to Maine, it ends up costing you $50. So that was very discouraging, but it was a learning experience. So eBay is, I don't know, I'm second guessing eBay and PayPal. They're a lot of trouble. I'm just a lot of hang-ups, and everybody seems to be triple dipping. eBay triple dips on their end, sellers fees, monthly maintenance fees, and then selling limits, set up this and that. PayPal is really, really very, very difficult. They have excellent security protocols, but PayPal will charge you and the buyer pretty much up to between three to four, even 5 different fees for the same transaction. And I'm not really digging it. I call that fast handing the customer's money. I don't want to like that. Now, now that I've got these laid out in place, let me go ahead and close. There you go. Say hi, Jason. There's one of 3 NASA shirts. You're able to see me because I'm shooting a camera into the bedroom mirror or closet mirrors. Let me go ahead and put this tear down launch rail or launch stand away. I think it looks great, but I don't know. I think people are put off by its flimsiness. Oh well. Okay. I'll just put that away. That's my teeny little pillow in my lovely bed. Okay, this took me only 6 months to build. But I built it by scratch. There's no welding involved. And look at that. It is assaulting my launch control box. I can put that like that. I tell you, I only have 2 arms, people, and it makes life kind of tough. Let go. Okay, let's talk in detail about this. This is for up to 40 millimeter motors right here. This inner diameter, it's not really diameter, this inner area is for housing up to 40, 50, and even maybe even almost even 60 and 70 millimeter diameter motors, which is going to come in handy because I'm running only 2 different size class motors in all my sounding rockets. Actually, I have an ultra high altitude sounding rocket with only 2 engines, but it's going to take 2 75 millimeter motors, and I have no idea where I'm going to get the facilities to build that. We'll talk about that later. Everything is bolted down. I hand folded this aluminum ribbon, drilled it, lined everything up, glued it in place, drilled and lined up everything. I came up with these cage ideas. Thought I'd have to weld at some point. Shout out to my friend Mike Snyder and his son Cyrus. They want to teach me how to weld. I'm saying I still want to get together with them and learn that because I do not know how to weld and I'm ashamed of that. These have 2 different halves here. The clamp down stamps, nuts and bolts, ear washer or ear nuts and bolts. This clamshell half comes off the lower half. So I call them trays or trowels. They're not really trowels because they're not enclosed, but trays. And these clamp down on the top of the motor. And technically speaking, I could actually use a motor and kind of, with all the slack in here, I actually can use a motor that's slightly bigger than the tray itself. So I can go up to almost an 80 millimeter motor. But there again, given the length of the tray and the power of an 80 millimeter motor, that's almost an M-power motor depending on the length. M-power motors, they generate so much thrust that they can actually kill a person if they blow up or if someone gets directly behind the blast path. Those are missile motors. I mean, full-blown military missile motors. They're very, very, very expensive, and they're very dangerous. So you have to be careful. But this is what's called a motor test stand. So I have this feature, which points the motor upward. These guys here, which hold the 2 trays on top of each other. This is the feature. This is what gives me bragging rights. This is the point. This motor test stand is designed to be used on the dirt, not the cement, not the asphalt, the dirt. These 2 stab points, these guys go down into the dirt, and they keep the thrust of the motor from pushing the rocket motor test stand backwards and plowing a couple rows. At least that's what it's supposed to do in theory. I've used motor test stands that I've built before, going back almost 18 years, and I gotta tell you, I'm pretty darn good at it. But the idea, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to be catching on. Maybe because I'm not marketing it at all. Although I did try to sell it on an equipment website for an outrageous amount of money. They said, nah, we don't want to have anything to do with you. So I don't know what motivates people, but a lot of these businesses are failing wholesale. And I've given them opportunity to work with me. And I haven't gotten anywhere because I don't bother to work with them. But when I get more serious about more large scale or larger scale manufacturing, and I don't know, maybe these guys will come out of the woodwork and start banging on my door. But guys, I keep complaining about these merchants and parts dealers and suppliers. I mean, guys, you first, I say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step, the first step. But the other thing is you have to learn how to crawl before you can walk or run. Hey guys, little sales lead to bigger sales, and like I said, I'm right now. I'm trying to. I sound so scatterbrained when I talk like this. I'm just very excited. My brain works faster than my mouth. That is a sign of a mental disorder, I hope, or actually I hope not. I'm in the process of saving up the $600 required to register my DUNS number for the business, Wampler, with SAM registration. Then I can take out government contracts, I can apply for government contracts, I can apply for grants, I can apply for loans. That'll put me in a better position. And I got to tell you, folks, you're still going to see these classes at 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday, but I'm kind of chomping at the bit right now to get out of my old business, which is automotive design, engineering, and building. I'm going to design and manufacture my own cars in 5 years, in this life or the next. So we'll look forward to that. But that's going to be a bread and butter business. My first love is rockets and rocketry and sounding rockets. And nothing is a toy or a model. If you want to call these rockets I'm building or the ground support equipment and testing equipment I'm building models or toys, you might as well call the space shuttle a toy. So anyway, I think my biggest problem is I simply don't come across as a very intelligent person. So I don't know. That may be a sign that I'm not an intelligent person. Who knows? But anyway, this is some basic ground support equipment. Your launch controller, your motor test stand. You test the sample motor before you load it into a very expensive launch vehicle or sounding rocket that you spent 12 months building. And this is a launch rail. This only is usable for smaller rockets. And again, a quick word of advice. If you're gonna get into aerospace, I wouldn't recommend bothering with traditional aerospace vendors. They're just, for whatever reason, the structure of American corporations right now is simply so backwards, upside down, and inverted. It's almost counterproductive. It's almost like people are so dumb. They're facing backwards while standing on their head, and their clothes are inside out while they should be perusing the storefront, the cashier's counter to sell goods. They're actually running. I actually went to a pipe and supply place. The guy actually tried at least 5 times on one occasion in about 2-minute period of time not to sell me some ABS or PVC pipe. I had to really drill him, and I said, "Look, sir, that's the opposite of salesmanship." And he had a really, really weird explanation, had some funny hang-ups. And, you guys, you vendors and suppliers, if you're noticing how slow your business is getting, it's not because of COVID-19 or the slowdown in the economy. There is no slowdown in the economy. People who know and understand customer service and how to hustle the sale, that they thrive. So if you guys are slow in business, it's because you suck as salesmen. But anyway, I'm just using this tonight's instructional video as a sounding board for some of my frustrations. But guys, if you're getting into rocketry, just go with traditional vendors and suppliers. Go online at McMaster Car. Look up things on Granger. You get a lot of equipment on Granger. As far as tools and supplies are concerned, Home Depot is just fine. Lowe's is just fine. Crown Ace Hardware is just fine. And then there's Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight, you have to pick and choose what you get, but I got to tell you, man, it pays off if you really find the deals at Harbor Freight. And I love those guys. I'm there almost every other day. Shout out to my buddy Daniel who works there. He said, "Hey, Jason, I think you should just rent a room here." And I'm thinking, Daniel, you're probably right. I wouldn't have to go anywhere to pick up all my cool tools. Anyway, so I'm out. We're in 18 minutes, and I'm going to get a bigger camera, a camera stand, pay my phone bill, and just start shooting these videos myself, because it's not only the fact that you can't get something done right, you gotta do it yourself. It just seems like I'm all alone. I cannot get anybody help or support. Shout out to my friend Scott Faka. Hey Scott, I tried to make the rocketry business work with you, bud, but evidently this is the 3rd attempt. 2 failed attempted partnerships. I'm trying to get you to help me out with the 5 rockets I'm building. But Scott, I don't know what's going on. You're just kind of lost in your own world, buddy. And let's just get the Mustang built and part ways after that, because I can't really use you, buddy. So when those grants will come through, I'm going to work on it. So anyway, so we're going to talk to you guys later. Tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. at Sancha High School parking lot in Costa Mesa, California. Let's see. United States of America, Northern Hemisphere, planet Earth, solar system, Milky Way galaxy, known visible physical universe in our dimension. Anyway, good night, and you folks take care.